Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another great edition of my Grue Rume Show. And for the Grue Rume Show today, I got a very awesome guest, and his name is Chaz Bono, and he's an actor, a musician, an author, a filmmaker. He does it all. Like he's an all around great person, and we're going to talk to him all about his acting life, music, and even talk about an upcoming horror movie that him and his mother Cher are producing. I am Rocco Cross. I am the host at Stutters. I am the host of the Grue Room. And my interview with Chaz Bono will be coming up very soon. This is my Grue Room, and as always, welcome to my nightmare. So stay tuned. Okay, welcome to Grue, and thank you so much for taking time out and coming on.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to it. So, so like the first thing I wanted to ask you is, when did you know you wanted to act? Like when did your like passion? So I mean, everyone knows like you started at a very young age, but like
Sure.
when did you
Well,
know
so
you
it's
wanted
kind
it?
of it's kind of a two-step thing, answer. So I started very young. You're on the East Coast, right? So
Hmm.
I went to LaGuardia, in New York City, and it was a
Yeah,
drama.
yeah.
Yeah. So, um, but in my senior year, I ended up getting cast in the Midsummer Night's Dream in a male part. And it was really the first time I felt comfortable, um, you know, playing a part, playing anything. And I had no idea I was trans at that time. It took me many more years. And so I ended up, quitting acting because I just thought, I can't, I really couldn't play women. I just, acting is the one job. Well, there's probably others, but acting is one of the jobs where you have to be absolutely comfortable in your skin in order to
Yeah.
do your job well. And I just wasn't. And so, years later, I transitioned, and in 2012, I just kind of coincidentally got asked to do cameos on Degrassi and The
Hmm.
Secret of the American Teen. And so I did those, and I had a lot of fun doing it. I got good response from the directors, and one of my best friends is an agent, and we were talking. He's like, why don't you check out an acting class? And I said, it's a really good idea. Um, he suggested a place, and I went and audited a class and really liked the vibe of it there. And I signed up for a class, and my life changed. Like I realized
Oh,
that I loved acting as much as I always had, and that I needed to do whatever I had to try to spend the rest of my life acting. So yeah, so I took years to really work on my craft again because it had just been so long. And
yeah.
so I was in class, and I started um doing plays first for a long time, and
Oh,
then
okay.
yeah, and then I did a couple of independent films and stuff, and then I got really lucky and got I mean it took a long time, but then I got cast on American Horror Story, and that was
Yes.
a huge turning point for me. So
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Well, you mentioned you did plays too.
yeah,
Is there any play that you love doing the
sure. I'll
most?
tell you. So yeah. So I kind of the first thing that I got introduced to was I did it totally the opposite of horror, but really fun. It was kind of sticking my toe back in the water. I went out with a bunch of friends from class actually to see this group that they're called. They did 30-minute musicals, and basically what they do is they take popular movies and turn them into shortened musical parodies, and they're
Oh, wow.
hysterical. They're just so funny. So I went with some friends, and I saw a double feature of Top Gun and Showgirls, and literally, I mean, it was one of the funniest things I'd ever seen. And I met the woman who really does everything, writes them, directs them, produces them. And I said, like, if there's a part in whatever you guys do next that I would be right for, I'd love to audition.
Oh
And
wow.
so she ended up doing Roadhouse next and cast me as one of the tough guys in it, and you know had a blast. So I did a bunch of those. So that was kind of the first thing that I did, and it was fun, and I had a great time, and it got me kind of more comfortable in front of people and everything. But I have done some comedies. I'm pretty good with comedies, but we had like people in there that had like Broadway voices. And I
Oh,
was,
okay.
I can carry a tune, but like, I'm never going to stick out in this crowd. So then I ended up auditioning for something that somebody in the studio that I was at, somebody was producing a play. So that was a drama. So I did that,
Okay.
and that was really fun. And I kind of watched this girl who I knew, from classes and stuff, who was much younger than me, produce a play. And so I was like, huh, I could do that. I could probably do that. Um, and I had done scenes from this play, this Lee Blessing play called Down the Road, and
All
it's
right.
it's about um a husband and a wife. They're journalists. She's a true crime journalist, and he's just like a business journalist. And they get hired to write the serial killer's book.
Oh
And
wow.
so it's three characters in two locations. Like it's the hotel that they stay in, and then the prison cell where they interview the serial killer about his life to write his book. And it's kind of like a psychological thrillery, and he just over the course of this play of interviewing them separately and stuff just decimates their lives. And so I played the serial killer, and honestly it was the
Okay.
still to this day the most fun I've ever had acting. um it was just a really intense experience because it was like a 50 seat theater. The way we had it set up where I acted was probably about 10 feet from the first row. So it's like this
Oh
really
wow.
intimate setting. And I played, this is just vile character who's just describes lovingly and in all his glory these horrific murders he created. And is just also just totally, trying to dominate these two people that he's telling it to, just horrifying them.
Mhm.
So it was such an intense experience. It's kind of also observing the audiences. Every night we did it would be so we get such different reactions from
Oh, wow.
audiences. It was really fun. I loved it. I'd blow so much like energy out, and any kind of negative stuff in me, I just go skipping off stage.
it 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 definitely sounds like along the lines of Silence of the Lambs, like something like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, it's a play, so it's all dialogue. So it was
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
yeah, but it is that kind of, yeah, I had a blast doing
Oh,
that.
that's
So
awesome.
so yeah, I mean, theater was it's I mean, for actors starting out when you can't get work,
Yeah.
um, theater is a great thing because there's lots of people doing much smaller, like regional theater, and here in LA, we have a ton of these, under 99 seat theaters. We have two kind of theater rows here. And so
Oh, wow.
it's very doable for normal people to, just, raise a little bit of money and do a run of a show. It's like it really it's accessible. So that's a cool thing, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And you also like you tried your hand in making making songs too. Like I see you were in a
That was my
band and
first career.
everything.
Yeah, that was my first
Yeah.
one. That one I didn't end up enjoying. That was not the career for me. So got out of that quickly. But yeah, I mean what I'm doing now, I really, I mean, I really love everything, about acting, and now kind of, you know, really focusing on doing horror, and now
Yes.
having produced two horror movies also. It's I'm super, excited where everything's going. So,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
And it looks like American Horror Story was kind of your introduction into the world of horror, because that started off like many more horror films that you were in.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to. So the first film I did was this film called Dirty. It's about dirty cops,
Okay.
and I knew somebody in involved in it, and anyway, I ended up getting this really great part in it that allowed me to do a lot, and I had so I ended up I played like this informant, and he's he was a hoarder and a crack addict, and I really got to have fun with this character, and so I had this really great piece of film, and which is just kind of the one thing you need to start a career,
Mhm.
and so I had this great piece of film, and when I saw it, I honestly, I was like, if I could get this to Ryan Murphy, I bet he would give me a shot, because I mean, literally, I was getting nowhere fast. I mean, getting
Oh,
couldn't
okay.
couldn't get a job if my life depended on it. Like, just nobody, was interested in me at all. So, and I just had this feeling from the people that he's cast before and stuff. I felt like, if he could, but it took years to figure out somehow to even get it to him.
Oh my
And
God. Wow.
yeah, it took me years. I mean, it was like, and finally I was able to get it to him. And yeah, and then I booked those two, seasons of Horror Story. Um, but it was really off of Dirty. And even though Dirty wasn't a horror movie, the character was so quirky. And
Hmm.
that really, what it showed me was that I really, I love playing characters. Like, I just look being a character actor and playing these weird guys. I don't want to ever, really be the lead. Just let me be this weird, creepy guy or whatever on the side. Like, that's what I really dig. And I think it just, horror just lends itself to
Oh
that,
yeah,
so
definitely.
much. I mean, there's just so many great characters to play, and you really get to show your range, and just have fun doing totally different stuff every time. One thing, you're killing people, and then you're the victim, and you're getting you get to play all of these ranges from really vulnerable to like really aggressive. it's
Oh
just
yeah.
it's just really, it's fun. I just and the way that you get to tell story
Hmm.
is just more direct. Boom, somebody's
Definitely.
jerking you, they're dead. It's like in a movie, like that's somebody cut you off, they're dead in the next scene.
That is so true. Like I'm a huge horror fan, and I everything you're saying about it is like spot on.
Yeah.
And so like being on a show as huge as American Horror Story, like what did what did you love most about being on the show?
Oh, I mean, I loved everything. Yeah, I mean, it's so great to be in on something that big. I think, I mean, but the people, that's what I probably,
Okay.
loved most, were, getting to work with those actors. My first season, I really got to work a lot with Sarah Paulson,
Hmm.
and she's, amazing. And we went to the same high school, so we had that in common,
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
that was kind of like the bond that started it. But I loved working with her. And then my second season, I worked mostly with Evan, and he's also amazing guy, brilliant actor. So yeah, the people in the crew too. I mean, it's just a lovely group of professionals that work on that show, and it's something you and there's also a you don't you, everything's taken care of. You just
Yeah.
don't have to really think about any. Have doing a lot of lower budget stuff too. It's just a different type of thing. But like you go big budget show like that, you got your own trailer. You just live in large. And that you kind of miss too. But honestly, it's the people. I mean, I loved working with all those guys.
Oh man, yeah. Like I love that show. Like I
Yeah,
watched every season of it, and it's just it's a great horror show.
yeah, it really is.
Oh yeah, and like from that show, you went on to do some
Yeah, just and then
horror films.
there just
Yeah.
started. Yeah, it just started have been just doing horror. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I did a comedy, and I did an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, which was
Yes.
really amazing and a lot of fun. And it does seem, I don't know, it does seem like there's a little bit of something, a bridge or something similar to between horror and comedy that
Yeah,
just, yeah,
definitely.
you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And, and
To
like
try
what
like
what
Flanagan actually say that on something.
one of the horror films that you were in, you act in, you're one of the
Producers.
producers
Yeah.
too, and Bury the
Very
Bride.
right. Yeah.
Uh, how did you get involved with actually like working behind the scenes and in
Yeah.
front of the camera?
So kind of another long story.
It's all good.
So Christian Fox and I have the same manager, and he'd been telling me I have this new client, and I got to get you guys together because you're gonna love each other. You guys have the same sensibility about horror, and I think you're just gonna totally hit it off. And so yeah, Christy and I, talked, totally hit it off. Uh, when we first met, her and Spider were doing a podcast on Bloody Disgusting, and
Oh,
that was
okay.
that was the first thing I did. They were doing it was like a scripted. It was scripted stories, so they had different actors come in and play the parts and stuff like that. It was really cool, and so that was the first thing. They were doing the series for Halloween, and I came in and I played this character, the skinned man. That's what it was. So that was fun, and that was the first time we met in person, and um and we really just became friends first, like just really good friends, Chrissy and I. Um and and my manager Ryan had been telling me for years, like, the acting industry's really changed. You can't wait for auditions and stuff to come in. You got to start thinking about how to create content for yourself to work. And he'd just been drilling that into my head, and I knew that um Spider and Chrissy had been making. She had made Frank and I Live Alone, and this was right before Allegoria came out. Um so I remember Chrissy actually, I think she came to my mom's house one night when we were having a dinner for my birthday, and we started
Oh, okay.
talking about films and how she's done stuff and whatever. And it was a really interesting conversation and really stuck with me. And so she's they had this new script that they had written together, Bury the Bride, and I said, I like to read it. I might be interested in investing some money and coming on as a producer on this with you guys. So they were great. They sent me the script, and I love the script. Allegoria was done. So, I was like, I'd love to see Allegoria and see, example of Spider's directing. I saw Allegoria. I really loved it, and I was like, okay, that's it. I'm in. Let's do it. And so I put in some money. They raised the rest of it, and yeah, that's kind of how it started. And it was just, it was such a great experience to work with them on it, and I was, you know, influential in helping cast it,
Oh wow.
and it was, yeah, it was just such a, well, I knew, so two of the other guys, it pretty much, we knew, they had either worked with people before, or I had either worked with people before. And so um yeah, two of the other guys in it, one of them is like one of my closest friends who I met my first day in acting class, and he's the lead guy, and he's
Okay.
so brilliant, and it's super scary. And then one of the other guys was on American Horror Story with me. We met there. So and that's another, amazing thing. I mean, it's like, that was always has always been kind of another goal of mine, is to get into a group of people working and be able to, you know cast people that, not only are great actors, that but people that, and like showing up, going to work with.
Oh man. Okay. And, and like your character in the film is like your character is silent a lot in the film, but
Yes.
he's like a very important role in the film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was interesting. Like, so when they gave me the script, they were like, so your character doesn't talk a lot, but we kind of had this idea for it. And so I read the script, and I was kind of like, oh, you mean it really doesn't talk? And in the first draft, he talked less. So I was like, oh, okay. Um, but then, like, we kind of came up with his backstory,
Okay.
and so kind of, then I had a good chunky monologue, and but Chris and Spidey were Chrissy and Spider were, just convinced. They're like, it's gonna be really impactful.
Yeah,
This is gonna be a
exactly.
really impactful moment in the film, and mean a lot. And I was like, okay, great. Let's do it. And ultimately, it was great. I mean, I got to, work the whole time. We had these, huge scenes in there where the whole cast is in the scene, which is really hard to shoot when there's that
Yeah.
many actors and everybody's got lines. And I'm like, just no lines. I'm good. I'm just giving, like, you know, working with my body and my eyes. And so I ended up not minding at all. And it was a really fun film to make, because we were the whole cast was mostly together all the time. So
Oh,
that's just, so much fun. We all got along great. We all had a great time together.
nice,
Yeah,
nice.
it was great, and I think we came up with, a really fun horror movie. To me,
Oh
it,
yeah.
Bury the Bride to me feels like a roller coaster, where, like, the beginning of the film, you're just kind of going up the track, and then as soon as stuff starts happening, it's just you just going the whole time.
Definitely, yeah. Where did you wind up filming at for
Uh,
that
we
for that
yeah we
movie?
so we filmed in Lancaster, California, which is
Oh, okay.
about it's like uh it's in the Antelope Valley, and it's about a 90-minute drive outside of Los Angeles.
Oh,
And we were really lucky. Like, the property that we used, all of the different buildings were on there, the dwellings. So we had, like, the main house, and then we had that other kind of wrecked house where my scene where I talk takes place in, and that
yeah.
was literally just an old wrecked house that they never fixed. And
Oh,
then that really cool, like, double decker trailer thing with the platform out in front. and then all of that was on the property. So we filmed with the exception of the driving and the girls coming to that location. Everything we filmed on that one location, so that was cool.
Nice.
Yeah, which was nice, but it's really windy there, so we did. We battled our some windy nights, but it was a great place to shoot.
All right, okay. And one of my friends is Colton Tran, and you work for him in one of his
Yeah.
horror movies.
Yes, I did.
And Colton showed me the film and everything when the film was first coming out, and you did an amazing job with
Thank
that
you.
role. Like, it definitely threw off to me like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibe, like the sheriff from that movie.
Uh-huh.
So, like, where did you draw inspiration from for that character?
Well, we kind of we talk, it just when I read the script, that just kind of seemed like I wanted to kind of draw a distinction between being a local and then these kind of kids from the city coming in, right? And that's kind of where I first started thinking of it, and I just kind of started reading it with that southern, um and I remember calling Colton and saying, this is what I'm thinking, that I really want to make be different from the kids coming in and draw this distinction and have this kind of more rural vibe, and what do you think of this? And he's like, I like it. Yeah, it's great. Let's do it. So
That's that definitely sounds like him.
yeah. So I mean, he was. I mean, I love working with him. He was super easygoing, and
Oh yeah.
he's a really nice guy. Really, yeah. It was it was a fun movie to make. Also really great people. I to me, it's always about, like, if I'm working with nice people and being taken care of, I'm happy. You know, and that was. Sorry, my cat's about.
It's so good. I see your cat.
Yeah,
Your your cat definitely wants to say hi.
yeah. This is Lot.
Oh.
Hi, pal.
Your
Oh
cat's
yeah.
even wearing a sweater,
He's
huh?
wearing a sweater. He's hairless. I have hairless cats, so right now
Okay.
it's chilly here, so they're in their sweaters. Yep.
Oh. And, is, is there anything you could tell us? Like, I see you're working on a new horror film that's still
All right,
being
so
made.
we've got little it's been it yeah it's we've got Little Bites
Yeah,
come, yeah,
little
and
bites.
that's going to be really fun. It's very so same team that did Bury the Bride. um
Oh, okay.
I'm also a producer on this one. It's really different. It's about a widow who is basically like letting a monster in her house kind of slowly eat her alive, right? Little bites, because he's
Oh my
convinced
God.
her if he doesn't, he'll eat her daughter.
Oh
And that's
wow.
the premise of Little Bites. It's very different. It's a much
Oh.
slower pace. It's very intense, but it's great. I mean, I love it. It's Little Bites is amazing.
Oh my God. Yeah, like that's definitely something I would want to see.
Yeah,
and, and like I remember reading about it, and I was shocked because like your mom is actually producing it too, and I think
yeah,
this is like the first time she ever did horror.
yeah. So she was really impressed with what we did with Bury the Bride. So just
Okay.
yeah, really impressed with that. And so I was able to get her onto to Little Bites. So, and I don't think it'll be the last time you'll see her name on one of our films. So
Wow.
yeah.
That's really awesome. Nice. And what was like the first horror movie you ever saw, like to when your love for horror started, like the first horror film that set everything off.
Yeah, so my happiest horror like early memory is my grandma and her boyfriend, and I loved them both so much, and loved like going to spend the weekend with them and watching The Exorcist with them. I was probably about 10, and
That movie must have scared the crap out of you at
scared the
10.
living shit out of me. Scared me to death. And it's my all-time favorite. I try to watch it at least, once during October, every October. But it is, yeah, I mean, I was scared to death, but it is probably my happiest, early horror memories. Sitting in the
Oh,
I'm on the couch watching this movie that, come on, like, get down, that I'd heard so much about, for I can also, I remember my dad talking about that film with his friends and being like, oh, it wasn't so scary. That's nothing.
and then you go and watch it. You're like, what is he
I was like,
talking about?
totally.
You're like, is there something wrong with you? This
Yeah,
movie
yeah, yeah.
didn't scare you?
So yeah, that's a good one. Also, Jaws. I remember going to see Jaws.
Oh yeah, classic,
Scared,
classic.
scared me to death. Scared me every time. I mean, pretty much for my whole, you know, childhood. Getting into anybody's pool at night was like, just where's it coming from? Where's Jaws? When's he gonna get me?
Any newer horror films you went and saw recently or watched on TV?
Yeah, I mean, there's been some good. What did I? Oh, okay, Talk to Me.
Yes, that was really good. I
That
saw
was
that.
that
Yes,
that blew me away recently.
yes.
Yeah. Wow. Think of what else we've seen really recent. My girlfriend wants me to bring up the series From,
Oh, okay, okay.
which we what got into. This is a great series. Yeah, it's if you haven't watched it, check it out. Really good. Um,
I do want to watch that. Like I've
yeah,
seen trailers of it and
trailer.
clips and stuff.
It's
Yeah.
really, really good. The acting is phenomenal on it, and the premise is so good. It's like I mean, I'm going to tell you because you find this out right away. But if you drive into this town, you can't leave, and at night,
Oh,
monsters come out and try to kill you.
oh, yo, that sounds so good.
Yeah, it's really good. It's so good.
Oh, yo, all right, yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah,
I'm definitely gonna watch that.
we watched the Chucky season, the Chucky series.
I
So much,
love the Chucky show.
so much fun.
Did you watch the current one, the current season?
Yeah, we haven't watched the new season yet. We
Oh,
watched the
okay.
first two. We got to start the new one. Yeah, but the
Yeah,
first two, we loved them. They were
yeah,
seriously so much. As soon as Jennifer Tilly got on there, I was just in heaven.
yeah. Like Jennifer Tilly brings something to the film, the series. Uh,
Totally.
oh my god, like her and Chucky are what makes the series.
Yes,
Well, Jennifer Tilly and Brad Dourif,
and
of
Durf.
course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, they are magic together.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I haven't seen like Brad Dourif acting in so long, other than Chucky, and you forget what a brilliant actor he is.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I've been rewatching some X Files lately, and saw him a guest starring on one of those, and God, he's so good.
I know. I
He's
know.
just so good. Yeah.
You know what's funny too? I wonder if Jennifer Tilly ever was in like the same room with Brad Dourif for a scene because like she works with his
They
voice and
so
a
well.
doll.
Yeah, they have mad chemistry. Serious mad chemistry together.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Uh, are you a big fan of like Halloween season? Like, do you go to like the haunted houses and all that?
Yeah, I mean, I like to try to get to a couple different things. Yeah, because we really, we enjoy that stuff.
Oh yeah, I absolutely love it. I look forward to that every single year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I mean, and also like we have Universal out here too, which is just
yes.
insane. That's really fun.
Oh yeah, definitely. And, and what about songs? Like, what kind of music do you like listening to? Like, what's on your playlist?
Okay, so here's the strange thing about me. I don't really listen to a lot of music.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
like I said, so I kind of had a not a great experience in the record industry. It wasn't a lot of fun. Dealt with some, kind of not great people, and
Oh,
so yeah, music can sometimes stress me out. It kind of has a different effect on me than most people. So
oh wow.
yeah, so I don't listen to a lot of music. It's a weird thing about me. I know it's really weird.
Okay. Hey, everyone has their own things, you know?
Yeah.
And what about like foods? What kind of
Oh,
foods do you like?
I'm pretty much like everything except for bell peppers and papaya. I
Okay.
mean, I I like I like Italian food, I like Chinese food, I like Indian food. I mean, I pretty much like all cuisine food. I can't really. Yeah, I like food. Look at me. I look like a guy that likes food. I like food.
Um, and what about gaming? Are you like a video game guy at all?
Yeah, yeah. I'm totally a gamer. I've been playing Elder Scrolls Online. I'm kind of
Okay.
I've always been kind of a like action RPG guy. That's my favorite kind of stuff. So
Oh,
um
nice.
yeah. So but yeah, I
Oh,
do. I love the game. It's always been one of my favorite you know recreational activities.
oh, definitely. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fun. Like you just
totally
you
fun.
sit back and you go into like this this world, and it breaks you out of the real world for a little bit.
Totally. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Are you more of a coffee or tea person?
I've turned into more of a tea person
Oh
actually.
really?
Yeah, I mean I was more of a coffee person and then something happened with my tastes and I stopped enjoying coffee. And so
Oh
I just
wow. Okay.
kind of stopped drinking it. And so yeah, if I get a hot beverage now, it's usually a tea.
Well, I don't I can't start my day off without having a cup. Like I just I'm no.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so that's yeah, that was the other strange thing about me. Coffee, it doesn't affect me.
Oh really?
Yeah, I never got that. I never get that lift. Like I know that people get that. I just don't know what
Yeah.
it feels like. So
Oh
yeah.
wow.
So I just kind of drank it out of habit because everybody else does.
Okay.
And I was hoping maybe one time, like maybe do a little something. But like I'm the kind. Yeah, I would like have cappuccino out at a restaurant after dinner and go home and go to sleep. So it never affected me. So I was kind of like, once I stopped enjoying the flavor, I was like, why am I doing this? Like, there's no purpose.
Hey, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And is there anything coming up next for you that you want to plug? Like
I,
other
I,
stuff you're working on?
well, I mean, I think the next thing will probably be little bites that you'll see
Okay.
from me, and then we're starting to think about what our next films are going to be. So all I can say is that the my collaboration with One Fox is going to continue, and they've got some great scripts that they've are working on, and so we got more great hard to come everybody's way.
Oh, I love hearing that. Like more horror is great. That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
And where can fans follow you at?
Oh, I'm on probably the best place is Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time and coming on. It was really cool chatting. It was nice meeting you. Thank you.
Nice meeting you too. Thank you so much for having me on.
Definitely, yes. When little bites is, I would love for you to come back.
Absolutely. I'd love to come back and talk to you about it.
All right, great. All right, buddy. Definitely have a
Okay.
great day.
Okay. We got a date in the future then. A little bites date.
Yes.
Okay. Have a
All
great
right.
night.
You too.